So what are the most common reasons that people fail to lose weight? My family has helped over 2 lakh people lose weight in our family's clinic. And when people come to us, they tell us, of course, what they've tried in the past. From all of those stories, there definitely are some common threads and some common themes. And there's no reason for you to repeat those same mistakes. So I'm going to outline the most common reasons that people are not able to lose weight. Now, losing weight is a matter of physics in some sense. We cannot escape the fact that to lose weight, we have to sustain what's called a negative energy balance. And so that is when we are burning more calories than we're eating. There's no way around that, but there are lots of places where in the execution of that, things can go wrong. So listen up, and hopefully the next time around, you'll be in a better starting place to try again. One of the reasons people fail to lose weight when they try is they're overestimating the amount of energy that they're expending during exercise. We all do this where we plan for our best intentions, but we all know that sometimes things don't go according to plan. So it's better to plan for your worst week exercise-wise, not your best week. Now, the other thing I'll say is that a lot of people will estimate their energy expenditure for the hour that they're at the gym. But in reality, only a small part of that hour is spent actually exercising. So make sure you're planning for the amount of time you're actually exercising. And then finally, something a lot of people don't know is that the estimates of energy expenditure that come from common tools like treadmills and watches, those actually will overestimate the amount of energy that you're burning if you are in negative energy balance and if you're eating a reduced calorie diet. So those estimates may not be reliable, and it's best to really be conservative about the amount of energy you're planning to spend through activity. Another very common reason that people fail to lose weight is that they're underestimating the number of calories that they're actually eating. So, for example, you might think you're eating 1,600 calories, but really you're eating 1,900. So that can happen because tracking calorie intake actually does require quite a bit of practice. It is hard to estimate your portion size when you just eyeball it and put something on your plate. No one can do that accurately. Even dietitians are pretty bad at it. It's better to just measure everything as you're plating it until you get used to the quantities that you should be having. The other common mistake is that people are not accounting for sources of calories that they just don't notice. Like, so for example, the amount of dressing that you put on a salad makes a big difference. The amount of oil that you're cooking with makes a huge difference. Or the amount of ghee that you're using when you make your tadka for your dal makes a huge difference. So make sure you're measuring all the components of your food to get an accurate calorie estimate, both when you're cooking and when you're plating your food. Another common reason that people fail to lose weight is that they've chosen a diet approach that's extreme and it causes excessive hunger. A little bit of hunger is normal. For example, leading up to your mealtime, you might feel a little bit hungry. But excessive hunger is when you have very severe, long-lasting hunger pangs that don't even resolve necessarily when you do eat a meal. Some people experience fatigue, headaches, distraction, and difficulty concentrating. And some people even will experience hypoglycemia. So none of this is required to lose weight, and in my experience, most people find such extreme diets really unsustainable and not doable. That is not something that you have to do to lose weight, and I would suggest a more moderate approach so that you can sustain it and lose weight in a safer way. Another common reason that people fail to lose weight is that they've simply chosen a diet approach that is too impractical. You might feel like you need to completely overhaul your diet to lose weight and that your diet has been the problem, but nutrition science actually tells us otherwise. And when you choose a diet that is really different than what you're used to, it can be difficult to find those foods. It can be difficult to eat those foods because they're not what you like and not what you're used to. And on top of that, your normal foods are still part of your life. They're still around you because your family's eating them, your friends eating them. So overall, if your diet approach isn't sustainable because it's too impractical, then that's okay. You can choose a more practical approach that is much closer to your normal eating pattern. There are lots of different ways to lose weight, and it's not that you have to have some, complete overhaul of your diet that's just too impractical. Another reason that many people fail to lose weight is actually because they've lost weight already, or they've lost weight many times already. Let me explain why. So studies have shown us that when we lose weight, that changes our metabolism, and our metabolism tends to become slower. And so what that means is that every time you lose weight, if you have a slower metabolism, that means that your approach to lose more weight or to lose weight again may have to be different than the approach you used the first time. That might include a diet that is even lower in calories than before. That might include stepping up your activity level. That might include adding on a medication, to manage your hunger and to help you stick with your diet plan. And so definitely, if you've lost weight before, you might need to do things a little bit differently to lose weight again or to lose more weight this time. Another reason that people fail to lose weight is that they're using the same approach that they used when they were younger, not realizing that because of the age factor, the approach will have to change too. So as we get older, the energy needs of our body decrease. So for example, for a 35-year-old woman, her energy expenditure when she's 55 will be about 200 calories less. And so that means to create that calorie deficit, she this time, doesn't just need an 1,800 calorie diet, she would need about a 1,600 calorie diet. And so sometimes, simply because of the age, the approach that you used before may not be enough to cause weight loss this time. And instead, you might need to either follow a lower calorie diet, or you might need to incorporate more physical activity this time to lose weight at the same pace. Another common reason that people fail to lose weight is they simply give up on something that's working and something that's sustainable and healthy too soon. Now, when you're trying to lose weight, it's important to have a patient mindset, and it's important to have resilience and persistence. When you get on the scale, it is tempting to expect something to change every time. But in reality, if you're following an approach that produces healthy fat loss and not quick weight loss, which remember, we want healthy fat loss, not quick, unsustainable weight loss, then you might not see a change except for maybe every 2 weeks at certain phases of your weight loss. And so if you get on the scale and expect to change every time, and if you're ready to give up when you don't see it, then you could be throwing away a perfectly good approach that's working really well for you because your expectations are off, not because your process isn't working for you. Another common reason that people fail to lose weight is that they have unaddressed medical issues that actually need to be addressed first before any program can work. So for example, if you have hypothyroid, but you don't know that yet, you actually will need a diet that is lower in calories, but you don't know that if you don't have your hypothyroidism diagnosed first. Or some women have undiagnosed PCOS or active PCOS. And because PCOS often comes with insulin resistance can make regulating your blood sugar difficult, and it can make following diets more difficult. You might also have insulin resistance related to developing diabetes, or you might have pre-diabetes. And so that is something, again, that will make it difficult to follow a diet. Other issues might include sleep problems, untreated depression or anxiety, or lingering injuries that keep recurring. Another reason that people fail to lose weight is that they didn't realize whatever approach you need to lose weight has to be sustained to keep it off. So people will lose weight, but then it comes right back, and that feels like a fail. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people are not really transparent about this when they talk about weight loss, that whatever you do to manage your weight is something that will have to stick with you for the rest of life. When you do something temporarily to lose weight, that doesn't fix the fact that you have a tendency to gain weight. You're still in the same environment, you still have the same body and the same biology. That didn't go anywhere, right? And so that's why we always emphasize a sustainable approach. Find something that, elements of that routine can stay with you for the rest of your life. And you really want to make the most minimal but impactful changes. And that is what will last and what will stay with you, and that's what will keep your weight off. Another reason that people fail to lose weight is that the approach that they chose is too loose and it's too imprecise. So, for example, general rules about healthier eating or maybe eliminating certain food groups like sugary foods, that may or may not help everyone. Usually the reason that someone is unable to lose weight is really different from person to person. So sometimes sweeping general rules may or may not really apply to you, and they may not really help you. And the other thing is that if you have a tendency to gain weight, that means you have a very strong biological defense of your weight. And so, maybe some loose general rules won't be enough for you to reduce your calorie intake enough day after day to see encouraging results that actually matter. And so that might mean you need a more precise and prescriptive approach, something like a clinical program or a diet plan.